Morning, Kat. How are you?
Morning. I'm good. How are you?
Cold. It's a cold one this morning. Ice off the screen. It's weird. It's cold, but it's also sunny. So it looks like we're in for a beautiful day ahead of the trip to the House of Lords tomorrow.
Yes, let's hope for that tomorrow. I went from thinking I was going to need a snowplow to get there last week in Newcastle to yesterday thinking I was going to need a jet ski.
Well, look, I mean, we've had it all thrown at us this week, haven't we? Or last week and this week. So we had weather. So we've had the snow, we've had the ice, we've had the cold, and we've had train strikes with us, but nothing stops us. Let's put it that way, Kat.
It does not.
So we've got a full house tomorrow at the House of Lords, 100 plus. You know, we'll put the plus. That gives us that caveat, doesn't it, Kat? So it's 100 plus people joining us tomorrow at the House of Lords. And I thought today, what we'll do is, if it's okay, we'll give people a few minutes to sort of join the live because it is early. It's 8:30 in the morning here in the UK. If you're watching this back on replay, it is very early for us. But what I wanted to do today, Kat, was give people an understanding, one, on what we're going to discuss at the House of Lords tomorrow, and two, how they can get their opinions heard in the survey. You know, so we want to make sure that people are filling out the survey, how to get access to the survey, etc. And we'll share some links in the live stream as well. So, right, Kat, I think people are starting to come in. Yeah, there's lots of people saying they're looking forward to the House of Lords, which is excellent. I'll share some comments as we go through. So, Kat, over to you. Do you mind taking us through what the subjects are for the House of Lords tomorrow? And then we'll go into a bit of detail on sort of the Advocacy for Change survey after we've had that chat.
Absolutely, not a problem. So, morning, everybody. So, for tomorrow's House of Lords event, we've got 3 panels and a workshop. So, I'll take you through those. Our opening panel of the day is Defending Against Deception, Strategies for Combating Fraud. We've got a panel full of fantastic key influencers. Based off the prep call I've had, it's going to be a very lively panel. I'm not sure we're going to be able to keep to time on that one because obviously it's the topic of the day, including in the WhatsApp group. So I'm really looking forward to this. Really good exchanging of ideas and possible solutions. So that's going to be a great one. Following that, we'll have a bit of a networking break for 15 minutes, get a coffee, get a cup of tea, and get ready for the next panel, which is panel 2, Unlocking the Future of Payments. So Liz Barkley is joining us again this year. And following on from what we did at last year's panel, where we talked about sort of payment practices and the prompt payment code, we're sort of looking at the 12-month journey we've had from last panel to this panel and where we are, again, talking about technology and robotics and how it can help us and just where we are in the journey. And again, you know, all the panels from the prep calls are going to make my job very easy on the day because everyone's got a lot to say on the subject. We've got a couple of polls for the room for a bit of engagement as well. Following that panel, we'll go straight into the third, which is Unlocking Financial Synergy, AP and AR, opposite sides of the same coin. So this is very much a panel based on breaking the silos between AP and AR, talking about intercompany and netting. Again, fantastic panel of key influencers, a lot to discuss, a lot to say. Then the biggest question of the day, lunch, is it popcorn chicken or isn't it? We'll break for lunch for an hour. Literally every call I jump on, someone asks me if we're having popcorn chicken this year. I don't know. It's a surprise. And then that will lead us nicely into the last session of the day, which is the workshop, Navigating the Future of Accounts Payable, a 2024 roadmap. And that's a chance for everyone in the room to have their say on what they want to see from us next year from an educational content point of view and really get involved. Because it's all well and good for myself and Jamie to sort of sit in a room and say, okay, what should we do at the update courses next year? But we really want to hear from you guys, the members and influencers. And then hopefully that'll bring us nicely to a close on time at 2:00. I'm going to do my best. I think Liz Barkley taught me this in media. This is what you do when you need to wrap people up. So you'll see me doing this a lot on the day because everyone has a lot to say on everything, on the topics. And I can't wait to run around the room like Annika Rice with a microphone because I'm sure hands will be going up left, right and centre. So I'm going to have to put my trainers on if I'm allowed.
So okay, it sounds like we've got a packed agenda. So we've got three panel discussions, which again, let's just remind people who are watching this either live or on sort of rewind, if you like. So the idea behind the whole advocacy for change, making a change in our profession, is we invite our influencer community, the APA key influencers. So it's limited in terms of its numbers, because you can only have just around 100 people there. We invite the 100 of the most influential people from around the world, actually. So we invite people from all around the world, and the idea really is we try and roadmap the future of the profession so that the association, the APA, can support the profession in terms of its progression. So yeah, all the panels you've discussed, we're really talking, let's be honest, hot topic at the moment is fraud. And it's all about how we can combat, avoid, and sort of be aware of frauds. That's a really great topic to sort of discuss. And the interesting part there is not only during the panel, but in terms of the survey that we're doing. It's the first survey we've ever done, actually, in terms of an industry or professional survey. We're going to talk about strategies, how we can combat fraud. So rather than, it feels a little bit like we all talk about it a lot, what are we doing? What's the strategies to combat that? Then we're going to talk a little bit about payments. There's a lot of challenges around payments at the moment. There's the cost of payments, there's the processing, the speed. So that payments discussion will go probably down several routes. But again, we've got sponsors and partners in the room with us who will be able to support us in that payments discussion. When it comes to that intercompany, we hear a lot, don't we, in our industry about the challenges between AP and AR. And what we're trying to do there ultimately is, what's the biggest challenge? And we've discussed things around training, perception, people not understanding the difference between the two, putting yourself in their shoes. The idea with this is that intercompany is a good example of how you should deal with the process of an invoice. So whether it's a customer or a supplier, or customer, what do we do? How do we do it? So that APAR is going to sort of break down those barriers. And then during the session, we'll also look at, like you said, Kat, the sort of the latter part of the session will really be about road mapping. That's where we start to look at what the association should do to support the profession and the industry. And we've got some new ideas. We've got some exciting stuff to talk about. We can't tell too much on this session today. We're going to announce it tomorrow. So there's lots of things that are changing here at the association. We are looking how we can support the wider community at large. There's lots going on in terms of the growth of the community has been immense, but we're really looking to sort of drill into sectors, maybe how we can support different sectors, and also topics. So the topic of fraud, the topic of best practice, whatever that may well be, we are trying to create, if you like, networks that will support those areas. So we can't say too much, Kat, but we will post the House of Lords tomorrow. We'll come back with a full update on what was said, what was discussed, what the roadmap looks like. And then the thing for us as well is, all of this is driven very much around technology and what technology is bringing to us. And I know that'll be a big hot topic for us to discuss tomorrow. We do have solution partners with us during the day. And the reason we bring the solution partners with us also is that it's very important they're aware of our roadmap from a professional point of view, because what we try to do is have all of the influencers in that room giving a view, giving a roadmap, giving us their opinion. We then discuss that very openly, so we can then discuss about how we can support from the APA point of view. But we have to align that with the solution partners, the people or the organizations that go and try and support us. Whether you're new to any type of automation, any type of sort of solution, or you're relatively way down the line with it, what it does is, by allowing the solution partners in with us, it helps them roadmap for their future on their solutions as well. So, Kat, let's talk a little bit about the survey. The survey was written by yourself. It's only 12 questions, I think, if just let me know.
Yes, 12 questions long. If I'm right, it's about half multiple choice and half free text. So you get somewhere it's nice and easy, and then somewhere it's an open forum for you to tell us, to download your brains and tell us what you think.
And again, I think what you've done, Kat, is you've tried to align the questions and the survey questions to what we're going to be discussing at the House of Lords, as well as then giving the open text view, because what we're trying to sort of get here is it's all well and good the association supporting the profession and the industry and sort of looking at our roadmap. We really want to make sure we're aligning that to what's going on, the coalface and in the industries, whether it's public or private sector. So the idea is fill out the questions. There's questions relating to all the things we talked about: fraud, payments, challenges, etc. But have the free text area where you really can go into a bit of depth, because the idea around the survey is the survey will be discussing some of the responses we've had already tomorrow at the House of Lords, but we'll also be then combining all of the responses we get from the wider community. We will then be sharing that with the APA key influencers, and we will then come out with a report. We want to give this back to the community so you can then understand where the challenges are across your industry or your sector or your profession, wherever it may well be. And we can then all learn from that. So the idea is, it's the first time we've ever done this. We're trying to gather all this information. We want, the influencers and the experts in our field to give their opinion. We will then formally give that report back. And what we can then do as a profession, as an industry, we can start to address some of these challenges that we face day in, day out. So again, it's just a reminder to go and fill out the survey, jump onto either our website, ap-association.com, or go onto our LinkedIn page. All of our surveys are all over LinkedIn and most of our social media. If you look for the survey itself, we'll make sure there's a link attached to this. And I think there also is a link when you register to watch this. So click on the link, take the 12 questions. It's no more than 5, 10, 15 minutes. Depends on what you got to write. In the free text, you might write for 3 hours, I don't know. But take your time, write through the questions, make sure that you're giving your view. It's anonymous, so you don't have to worry about, you don't even have to put email address. Actually, we're not doing capture on this one. What we're trying to do is get your vision and your view. That's the important part, because Kat's role, relatively new, although you're not a newbie anymore, Kat, as head of education. The idea for Kat to grow the education function within the APA is to get the viewpoint, get what are the challenges. So Kat mentioned earlier that we have what we call the APA updates, and what these are is all around legislation, best practice, what lessons can we learn as a community, and they are member-only events. We gather together around the country, around the regions, and the idea is for the content of those to be driven very much around the survey and the community and the APA key influencers. So, Kat, I mean, they're doing the job for you. I don't know what you have Christmas off for you. Is that the plan?
Yeah, exactly. That's always my master plan. Coming from the other side, I remember I wanted to get involved in everything, as you well know, because I used to bug you all the time. So we've just got some incredible key influencers who were already, in the couple of months I've been in role, contacted me and said, if there's anything you need, can we help? And again, if you're not coming to the House of Lords, please still fill in the survey, because it's your way of having your voice heard on the day. I used to say to my team when staff surveys would come out, you can't sort of say that when a survey comes out, oh, well, I'm not going to fill in, what's the point? It's like, well, if you're not having your say, we can't do anything about it if it stays in your head. So yeah, really, really encouraging everybody to do that survey so we can sort of lead into our roadmap for 2024.
Excellent. And again, so just a reminder, take the survey. If you think that, if the question in your mind is, how do I go to House of Lords? And we get that question quite a lot. So what's this key influencer malarkey? We get that a lot. The APA key influencers, that's a community of individuals that are recognized for being influencers in the profession of accounts payable and procure to pay. It's a self-nomination process. There's a sort of a scorecard you complete. So you fill out a scorecard. Once your scorecard's then complete, there's some evidence based around what you've done to help the sort of the industry and the profession. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll then sort of nominated and you would then be awarded a place on the Key Influencer Awards for 2024. Now, again, tomorrow at the House of Lords, we've got some exciting news about the 2024 Key Influencers. So anybody watching this live or anybody watching it back, you've got to keep an eye on the outcome of what's happening tomorrow, because we're changing up again, as we always do. Exciting plans for next year for the key influence. So if you want to be at events such as the House of Lords, you've got to go and sort of do the scorecard. Again, we'll share that scorecard with people. If you really believe that you're a person that makes a difference to the profession, you've got some passions, you want to mentor, you want to look at the future of the payables, you're proud of the area that you work within, take the scorecard, see whether you can join that community. It's a really, really great, loving community. It's also a community that it keeps me awake at night, literally, because the communication that we have with that group is immense. So key influencers, make sure that's coming out very shortly. The other thing I wanted to briefly touch on, Kat, I wanted to keep it short today because I know people are really busy, probably taking trains as we speak to try and get to London to see us at the House of Lords. Let's quickly talk about the year that we've just had. I know you're doing a session with our members. We're currently the members huddles. You're going to talk a year in view, so you're going to look at what's happened during the last 12 months. But why don't you and I just spend 5-10 minutes having a quick chat about what's happened? You joined us during 2023.
I did.
Yeah, I think you probably agree. It's probably not only one of our most successful years in terms of growth, but also it's one of our biggest challenges because we've done a fair few live face-to-face events. So from your side coming in, what was your view? You're an insider, on the inside now. So what did you learn during 2023?
So for me, it's interesting when we talk about that sort of key influencer group, being one myself. For me, at the start of the year, my sort of progression with that was kind of starting to go from being on panels to starting to moderate them a little bit more, which was a bit of a step out of my comfort zone. If people saw us in Oxford, I was having a bit of a breakdown on the side of the stage before I got on, because I felt like I prepped the panel and then 5 minutes before realised I hadn't prepped myself. So typical learning curves. I presented at the Manchester Update course. So again, it's that piece of for future key influencers or current key influencers about really thinking about your development. And yes, of course, we can develop, in terms of the legislation and the education, but also think about what do you want, how do you want to go further, and things like the opportunity the APA gives you in terms of speaking at events and things. And the facilitation for me is, I sort of got involved when everything was virtual. So it was a nice little comfort blanket to do things virtually and then start building up to doing the events. But the growth's been incredible because the first event I went to was a little room in Coventry during the pandemic. And I think there was about maybe 20 of us in there, social distance. And to conference this year, 450 plus, was it? Absolutely phenomenal. So it's been really interesting for me the last couple of years to see just how quickly this has grown. And like you say, the community are fantastic and seeing new faces every year. And coming from one side to the other now, I've got all the inside. I've been saying this a lot recently. I've got all the inside baseball now, inside baseball information. And the team have been absolutely fantastic. Onboarded me really, really well, looked after me really, really well. It's been nice coming out and seeing those members that I have at the beginning and starting to touch base, and hopefully in 2024 we'll do a little bit more of that and getting to know each other as we go. Because like I say, I've seen people at conferences and we'll have a little chat, but now in this role I kind of really want to get to know our members, what you do, and come back to the floor every now and again with with all customers if I had the time, but just to keep me sort of relevant on what technology everyone's using, what are the challenges, because obviously now I'm stepped out of industry. I want to just kind of keep my knowledge base as fresh as I can. So again, that's where I'll lean on the community a little bit more there. So feel free to blow up my emails now and invite me over for coffees to come and see your lovely AP policies and SOPs and systems. I'll go anywhere. I love getting on a train, me. Clearly.
And I think you're right, Kat. I think 2023. Let's be honest, it was the year of face-to-face. We really went back. We made a big statement that we were doing it in 2022. 2023, we just we brought our game again. You're right. We did 3 large events. We did an Oxford Forum event in May as part of AP Appreciation Week, which was phenomenal. And we're planning to do something similar this year or 2024. But again, you've got to wait until we've gone post Christmas for that one. We'll tell you more detail. But that's a super exciting one as well. Conference, October just gone. 450 plus. And let's not forget about the gala dinner. We do awards every year, 7 years in. We've done awards. Again, we always have lots of award nominations. It was a challenge in the early days. I've got to be honest, Kat. There was a bit of a nudging from me and confidence boosting and all that stuff and get people involved. But at the same time, that's taken its own arms and legs now, and it's grown, tremendously. We had 350 people in a room at a gala dinner on an evening, celebrating and absolutely, pushing our profession to where it needs to be, alongside all of the other institutes and the professional bodies that we sit alongside. So that was phenomenal. And guess what? Not only we've got the House of Lords tomorrow, but we're planning it all again for next year. So 2024 calendar, Kat, you're in the know. You're planning this. Your role is to do all these events, and I think the calendar for next year is. It's even more challenging. We've got to try and, every year, my role generally is to try and let's see if we can up our game. It's going to be difficult with the conference to up it even at another level. But guess what? Our team always do it. So watch out for who the speakers are going to be. The speakers we've got lined up already for next year are just phenomenal. They're just another level. The size of the conference, what, Kat, why don't we tell people? So we're already now we've booked the conference venue for next year, so you need to be aware. We're going back to the same venue. It was absolutely a beautiful venue. Really was a great session we had. It's going to be on Tuesday, the 15th of October. So pop that in your diaries. Make sure you plan well in advance, because actually this year, not only do we want everybody there in the room for the conference, but the gala dinner is really important. We want you to plan, take the time and effort, stay overnight, make a big deal of it, because I think because it was our first gala dinner, people were sort of, traveling as well afterwards. So we want as many people as we can to spend that time and effort. So diaries, Kat, we're going to get in trouble with this. Marketing are going to, wrap our knuckles in the sun. But you know what? It's that time of the morning. We can do this. So 15th of October next year. Make sure that's in your diary. Kat will announce probably in the new year all of the new agenda items that we've got coming out. And to support all the things we've got two things which we can talk about now, but we'll talk more about House of Lords. We've got a brand new membership level coming out. We sort of spoken about it earlier in the year, where we talked about, the idea of supporting individuals on their professional journey. So rather than organizations and teams, we want to support individuals. So we're bringing out a brand new professional individual membership that will be launched very soon. And that will be absolutely amazing, if I'm honest. That's where we really, we're really looking forward to that. And Kat, you've been supporting that one. That will be launched very soon. And we also, and again, it seems like we're constantly evolving. We've got a brand new website coming out as well. And the reason why I'm really excited about the new website is because all the things that we've done over 23 into 24, all the support we've had from our community, we've put all that into a brand new looking website. So it's actually one place you can go and book your events. You can look at all the content. You can look at all of the qualifications that Kat runs and the courses and the certifications. But very importantly, you can get involved in the community. The community part is what we stand for, is who we are. We are a community-based business. It's how we started. That's where we always will be, for the community, by the community. So the brand new website, that'll be launched early part of next year. And again, the team that will be there tomorrow at the House of Lords will probably get a preview of some of this stuff. We've got loads on. So I can see in the chat already, people are saying, they're booking in the diaries for the conference. Better not say too many more things and give any more dates away, Kat. But
you're gonna get in trouble.
we'll get in trouble for this. But look, we'll wrap it up around about now. People are just about getting into work, I guess. Kat, any final words on tomorrow, or what we got for next year before we wrap up for today?
Not really. Just anyone who's coming tomorrow, I sent an email yesterday, so please check your invitations. Make sure that your name's spelled correctly for your ID. Even I got caught on that one, so apologies to Becky who's had to redo my invitation. So please speak now or forever hold your peace. Remember your money for the gift shop. That was Liz Barkley's suggestion. So we encourage purchases at the fantastic gift shop, which I didn't get to last year. So I'm going to try and make an effort this year. And remember your influencer badges as well. And yeah, and I'm really looking forward to the workshop as part of the day, because that is really going to be the thing that helps us do the roadmap for next year and really is going to shape all the events we have for next year. So I'm really looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts. And I'll be working when we have the lunch in the network, and there's a couple of other little questions and a couple of other little mad scientist ideas I've got that I'm going to be running past the community as well. So I'm really looking forward to chatting to as many people as I can tomorrow.
Lovely. Okay, well, Kat, look, as always, thank you for getting up early, making sure, because I know you've got to get on a train in a little while. Hopefully the trains are ready, and you've got to take that journey from Newcastle to London. I'm traveling down later on this afternoon as well. It'll be great. Please, anybody that's watched today or watching back, please look out for the information following that, because we will then share the results of the survey. On top of that, you'll get to know about all the plans we've got for 2024, which are super exciting. And we've got lots, not only the conference, but there's lots of other things that we've got planned for next year. But again, have a look out for that. As always, if you need any support, the website's on the screen, I think somewhere, apassociation.com, and look out for the new website. I've had a sort of a preview of that. It does look phenomenal. You'll be able to not only look at events, Kat, you can book them straight from the website. So we've got our own event system for the first time, so we don't have to push you off into different directions. So really super excited. Thank you, Kat, for today. Thank you, everybody who's tuned in. Thank you very much for support, as always. If I do not speak to you, or we do not speak to you before this side of the holiday season, everybody have a super lovely holiday. Have those resting times that you absolutely well deserve. Thank you for the support for the association to 23 and into 24. Let's make sure 24 is even bigger and better. But more importantly, let's celebrate the successes of our wonderful profession. Thank you all, and speak to you again soon. Thanks all.
Thank you.